Boom.
Hello, the connected. Welcome to the Live Connection podcast number 47. I'm here with, if this works out on Peter's screen, it's going to be sick, with Jarrod, Matt, Peter, Erik, and Grayden. We're here talking about video games in the world because that's just what we do. That's what we're here to talk about. What recently happened in this week of gaming? Well, I think our friend Jarrod is going to discuss some things about that regarding a trailer for a video game franchise that just won't die. Jarrod, over to you.
I feel like I should pause for a second with the delay like they do on global news when they pass it over to them and they sit there for a while. They're like, yes, Evan. Well, talk about the trailer that came out this past week. Assassin's Creed Valhalla looks freaking amazing. Like, it looks sweet. But I'm excited for it.
It isn't none of that was in-game footage, right? Or was it one of those in-game engine trailers?
I'm watching it right now. It's definitely just a pre-rendered cinematic trailer, so no gameplay. But if it's showing off like some of the setting, then I'm in. And like some of the armor, it looks cool.
Honestly, if it's the same quality, even the you do a little bit better graphics than Odyssey. Odyssey still looks beautiful. I launched it the other day just to look at because I know David started playing it. So yeah. I wanted to go back and check it out a little bit, and it looks if the graphics are even close, like a little bit better than that, I'm pretty impressed because that game looked pretty. Like there's the usual Assassin's Creed glitches and issues you'd run into, but for the most part, the games always look really good. Like they just look beautiful. So I don't know. I'm with Erik. If the armor's anything, if the cinematic trailer and has the armor that is in the game, then it's gonna look sick. And I think that's a cool time period to be tackling for an Assassin's game.
Yeah, I think it's a sweet time period. It's made me want to go back and finish Syndicate because started playing Syndicate a while ago, and I didn't get into it because I just forced myself to play through Unity first. That was a bad idea. So I got Assassin's Creed out before I really got a hold of Syndicate too well. But yeah, no, I probably will go back and play that now. I mean, I doubt I'll ever get Odyssey. I mean, I feel like it's been a long time, but it's a good thing that I'm only like one game behind. Well, 2 games technically now, but it's no big deal.
Origins and Odyssey to me were like for
Origins, fuck.
Origins and Odyssey for gameplay wise were probably the better Assassin's Creeds. The combat was better. The whole it just felt more. It felt easier to play.
Well, you'd hope the games would get better as they go along, right?
The combat in Odyssey was sick because the combat in Odyssey got harder, but it was like but I mean like it flows better. Like it's not so choppy to play. Like it doesn't feel like it's just like you have one move and you have to break it into another move.
You mean you're not just constantly countering people and just one shot?
Oh my god! You could basically break every Assassin's Creed up to Origins and just do that the whole time.
Like maybe 2 months ago, I played Assassin's Creed 2, and I was like, oh no.
At least Black Flag had the sea combat, like the sea combat scenarios. You couldn't counter with that. I think they did better than Sea of Thieves in that regards with the ocean combat.
I think that's just because we suck at the ocean combat in Sea of Thieves.
Maybe it's just a large learning curve.
Where exactly does the Assassin's Creed franchise kind of stand these days in games? Because I know it gets a lot of criticism from people like Donkey, for example. And so it's always made me kind of regard, especially some of the newer games, as like maybe not that good. I know Origins and Odyssey are like really, really good, but like as someone who has like almost no experience with the franchise other than playing Assassin's Creed Chronicles, where do you guys think the franchise kind of stands now?
Here's my theory. If you'll let me theorize for a second.
Please, now, Dr. Evan.
Never
from the Assassin's Creed trend so far throughout history, pun intended, as the games take place throughout history. The games seem to take an order of really good, and then absolute trash. And the absolute trash games seem to come from the ideas that are the best. Let's go back to the American War of Independence. That's very cool. Let's see America before it was like what it is today. Ended up being trash. Oh, Assassin's Creed Unity. Oh, let's go see France. Let's go see it all. It's sick. Oh, we get to play with other players. Trash. Now my theory, Valhalla, Vikings, really cool settings. I can't wait. Guess what? Trash.
See, I want to disagree. I want to disagree with that.
To be fair,
sorry, go
Assassin's Creed 3 was terrible just as a game. Unity had a shitload of glitches. So I mean, they were both bad, but in different ways.
Yeah, if Unity...
with that, I also want to disagree. I actually enjoyed 3. I know that's the unpopular opinion, and I know it wasn't to me the best Assassin's Creed game there was by no means, but I did enjoy the game. Like, I enjoyed the historical standpoint. I enjoyed the different the changes they made to the game. Again, to me, it didn't feel as much of an Assassin's Creed. Like, I didn't feel like you were relying on your skills as much in that game. But I don't know. I didn't find it was as
counter
complete
system
trash. I just didn't. I didn't think it was as good as things like Origins or Assassin's Creed 2 or even 1.
I've never had a harder time playing through a game while still being slightly entertained enough to just stop playing altogether than Assassin's Creed 3. It was just good enough to make you suffer even more.
It was just good enough that you couldn't walk away.
Yeah.
That's like the video game equivalent of.
Yeah,
that's like the video
Erik
game equivalent of his CDs are still in my truck, or other way around.
That's funny you mentioned like Assassin's Creed 3 and Unity, because when Valhalla was posted on the internet there, I was just going on Twitter, and there was just, I think it was IGN or some page like that saying, what's your favorite Assassin's Creed game? And there's a surprising amount of people saying Assassin's Creed 3 and Unity. Like more than I would expect.
That's why the franchise is going downhill. Because the fan base just doesn't know what's going on. No,
Odyssey and Origins are bringing it uphill.
Evan's prediction. Don't pre-order.
This is don't pre-order this game. It is gonna be trash.
Here's the thing, though.
And it's also gonna go on sale for $5 in a couple months.
Yeah,
like Grayden said, the games were bad or had issues in different ways. Like Unity again was just glitchy, and to me they didn't utilize the co-ops as well as they could have. Like, it's just they made them so it was like side missions that you could do co-op. It wasn't the actual base game.
Yeah.
So I think if they changed it and made the base game co-op, I think Unity wouldn't have been as bad as people gave it crap for. It's just that when they're like, oh, get to play with your friends and do Assassin's Creed missions, you're like, oh, sick, I'm gonna play the whole game with my friends, and it's like three missions was all you got to play together.
I don't know how that always happens. It's always like, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be great multiplayer. You're going to get to play with your friends. Everyone's like instantly like, oh, cool. You get to play the whole game with each other. And then they're just like, oh, no, just kidding. It's just like a certain aspect of the game you can play together.
I think developers need to send out polls before they start developing games so that they get the right thing that people want, instead of being like, oh, you want multiplayer? Here's 3 maps. Good luck.
Surely they do that
to
an
Capcom's
extent.
been doing.
Like, that
what was
be
that, Erik?
Stupid not to do it.
It's what Capcom's been doing with Resident Evil. They've been putting out a bunch of surveys and stuff for people who've played Resident Evil 2 and 3 and are like, hey, do you want more remakes? Do you like what you see?
Do you want another?
Well, everyone's like, yes, please.
The nostalgia behind those ones would really bring people to want the remakes, because the old Resident Evils were actually scary, whereas I found a lot of the new ones became more of a shooter action,
more
kind
action
of game.
thriller-esque.
Yeah.
4 was the last one that has spooky elements.
Yeah. Sorry, because Resident Evil 7 started to go back towards that a little bit more of a horror aspect until you were telling me, Erik, I think it was, that as you get at a certain point in the game, though, it just becomes you're not worried at all because you have everything.
Was Resident Evil 7 the one where the logo looked like a man giving a giraffe a blowjob, or was that Resident Evil 6? Oh, okay.
What? I got
You've never seen that?
Resident Evil 6?
Yeah, look
Yeah.
at the logo.
It looks like a giraffe forcing a man to give it fellatio.
Sorry,
You know,
67.
I've looked at this before, and I've never thought that. But now that I go in with that mindset, oh, I see it. There it is.
Oh my
They
god,
didn't
it
even
does.
try.
Get away with it. You
They
can't
didn't
get
even
away
try
with
not
it.
to make it like that.
I'm like Peter. I've looked at that so many times, and I never thought that it was that.
Okay, some
Well-
people have edited the logo to make it look more like that, but even if you find like the beta logo, it still looks like that.
Mhm.
Why does the giraffe only have 2 legs?
Why does it have
He's
a
really
foot?
leaning back on it. He's like, ooh. Oh, human blowjobs are that much better.
Oh, no.
Well, the giraffes can never get down there, right?
No.
Well, that's a
Well,
giraffe's
giraffes
chest.
have really
Why is-
long tongues.
Why is the giraffe? Why is his dick coming out of his chest?
I don't know, man. Oh, we lost Grayden.
Oh,
Oh, there's Grayden.
we
Grayden
gained
couldn't
Grayden.
handle it. Grayden was like,
Yeah,
I
he-
ain't looking at no giraffe.
No, Grayden's internet just couldn't handle Googling something and being on Discord at the same time.
No, I just stopped for whatever reason. Like you guys were talking, then it just ended, and like I was still connected in the call. And I was like, nah, no more sound for you.
You're like, come
You're like,
on,
cool.
give me a little
Good podcast.
sound,
I was like, "Hey, Dave, just a
please.
little."
Tragic.
Yeah, I heard some stuff of like, Ubisoft having to like push
Ubisoft.
back on people being like, there were no women Vikings back in the day, and Ubisoft's like, well, guess what? In ours, there is. And I find that's kind of like the thing people are getting mad about, because like you watch the trailer and like, yeah, the King of Britain is like being like, oh, those Vikings are savages, they just kill people, and then it just shows the guy being like, oh no, you girl and kid, you can move on. I'm like, that's the history that pisses me off. It's like Vikings weren't good guys, they just butchered people. They didn't care. There was no one being like, oh no, you can go, you're a woman and child. Go on, we don't care about you.
Yeah.
They're not being like women Viking warriors is complete bullshit. Women were on the battlefields like just as much, and they were like revered as
Exactly.
warriors.
It's true. That's a very westernized viewpoint to state that women were not Vikings. That's a very old westernized, like only men had areas of power or did that kind of
Yeah.
stuff, right? So it's like I feel like that's also where people are getting lost in this, is that a lot of the culture and stuff, or a lot of the history
Yeah.
we learn, is also from a westernized lens. So it points out things that
You know,
westernized culture idolizes,
Yeah.
rather than pointing out what their culture actually was.
maybe
So I mean,
that's
a
like
lot of the time, you got to be
Maybe-
careful when people argue that kind of stuff, because it's coming from a very biased point of view.
oh yeah, like a bigoted point of view for sure.
People weren't educated.
What's that?
Are you saying, Jerry, that people aren't educated in the
Yes.
history of?
Yes,
Oh,
I am saying people aren't
How dare
educated before they make comments.
I'm wondering if this game is the storyline is gonna base around like the Vikings were actually bros, even though they like did stuff to like, you know, conquer land and do good things. But then it was like the King of Britain like rewrote history to make it seem like they were savages, and then because the British Empire ends up defeating, I don't know if they do. I actually have no idea how this works, but because the British Empire ends up like pushing them back, they just like write the history saying like that the Vikings were always savages. But in real life, they're like, yo, man, we're just gonna plant flowers and it's all good vibes.
Well, that's how the old history of things like the Mesoamerican history went. The Spanish totally threw any of the Mesoamerican civilizations basically under the bus, saying these are absolute savages. They just butcher each other. Whereas, like, there was a very structured way of life with them,
Yeah,
and it was just because they didn't have the same views as the Spanish, that they all were just like, no, these guys are savages. Can't believe it. Get them out of here. I feel like that's
like
understanding.
typical style of colonialism is like colonial powers did that.
Matt,
when they were
you're cutting in and
colonizing
out there, bud.
We can't understand.
Sound like a robot? Is that true?
Yeah, you sound like a robot.
Drew says
Let's finish my sentence.
Mr. Omato.
history is written by the victors.
It's true. It's 100% true.
Wow, it does.
So it's like maybe Evan, maybe they
Moment,
would
moments.
maybe they would let the children and women live. Who knows?
Yeah, we don't know. We weren't there. I guess we'll have to wait till the
Yeah.
game comes out
If
so
the
we can
children win the war,
understand.
then whoa.
I guess we'll find out by
Oh,
playing the
man.
game. Are for you guys playing the games still, like the Unity and Origins, whatever happens, do they just like say like screw the whole Desmond storyline in regards to like the first people, like the Garden of Eden and all that shit, or is there still like ties to that?
There's still ties because the entire story revolves around the pieces of Eden, both the
Yeah.
apple and the staff of Eden and all that. But they kind of wrapped up Desmond's storyline.
Long time
I
ago.
think at Revelations, yeah.
I mean,
I thought that happened around Assassin's Creed 3 or something, where
It
he
never-
like, died or some shit.
yeah, but it never felt like they wrapped it up. It was like, oh, the end of the world, and then he ends up like killing Emily or whatever the hell her name is, and then like he dies, and then what? The world is saved, and then
Spoiler
there's nothing
alert.
more about it.
Wasn't that Kristen Bell?
Was it Kristen Bell? I have no clue, man.
I know it was like some big voice actress.
I know that I don't know. From what I could see, they still have that come out of the Animus, go back into the Animus kind of thing, but it's not as big a part of the game as it used to be. I find like it's more of like just a side story if you care about it kind of
Well,
thing.
now
whereas
it's more
you're
just like
there.
the company is just like present in here and there. I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the company's one, and that's it, pretty much.
No,
Yeah.
because there's
No, because
still,
Origins was a girl who is like inside the tomb of
Oh,
the
right. That was stupid.
of the one guy, and they were trying to basically find the storyline of what happened. And it was again,
I have this
it was again,
next-gen machine in a cave and it's working.
and then it was to I'm pretty sure they
Future
stole her,
Force.
Peter. I don't think she just was like,
How can
"Ooh,
you
I
just
built this
play it
next gen."
Wait,
You have an
where did
extension cord
Origins?
to a generator? You're just traveling through history with a little jerry can?
If
Where
they
did-
have
I like
something that can
that.
put you back in history, Peter, I'm pretty sure they're not just using a current day
They're in a
generator
cave.
to.
You think there's Wi-Fi there? No.
Yeah, I like that we're literally traveling through time and space, but Peter's like, how did they have a generator and
No,
power?
I'm just saying.
Where did they get
You think they still use Wi-Fi when you're going back in time and living the experiences of the assassins,
Yeah.
Peter?
Yeah, you're
Well,
banned.
no,
with-
Jarrod, didn't you know? You can't go back in time without connecting to the internet first. That's just a
Ah,
oh.
shit. Well,
Yeah,
my
we-
dream. Some
Sorry.
people's dreams are crushed now that
Sorry
they can't
for
go back in
assuming-
time because of internet.
The games are supposed to be relatable.
You better hope you have good internet connection, because I hear lag is very painful.
So,
It
Peter,
is.
you said games are supposed to be relatable.
Yeah,
it's a
they're supposed to.
stupid
Yeah.
argument.
Like Wi-Fi,
So
can you not relate to Wi-Fi?
destroy all humans is relatable to you in some way.
Yeah.
Peter
I
Maybe
wants
I
to kill you.
fantasize about aliens coming
Hellblade
down.
Senua's Sacrifice is super relatable. I too have gone to the depths of the underworld to get my husband back.
Dude, Hella? Man. What a girl.
She's big.
Uh,
I thought you were so excited for Cyberpunk too. Like that's super relatable. You know, all my cybernetic enhancements that I have.
Yeah, that was
I mean,
sick. Love
according
it.
to
Yeah.
DICE in Battlefield 5 in World War II, women were cyborgs, augments and everything, right?
Wait, what?
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 Battlefield 5. They're like go look at any of the trailers. They're like robots. They're like got like cybernetics and shit.
Who? What, Peter?
What
not-
trailers
Did you
were
guys
watching?
miss this?
Peter watched the Prototype 2 trailer and he thought it was
No, no, I'm not crazy, guys. This is a big
You
thing.
kind of are.
No, they were there. You were there, and you were there, and you were there.
Don't make me Google it. Gosh dang it. Women.
Peter.
Oh no, he's right. He's right. Like the
Peter
they have like
Wright?
prosthetic.
Holy shit.
No, hang on. Shut the hell up. Okay, you don't have to take it for a mile. Okay, I'm just analyzing.
That's
There's
not.
just-
That's not a. it was
It's like a
used-
prosthetic.
Yeah, it's a prosthetic limb. You don't think they had prosthetic limbs back then?
Do you see that prosthetic? Do you see it?
Yeah, you have two fingers which pull on a string lever that go like this.
Okay, you try doing parkour with one of those, Jarrod.
Peter, In Assassin's Creed, they had it so you cut off your ring finger, and then you can suddenly have a blade come out of your wrist. Like what?
Is
Because you
Assassin's
couldn't
Creed
lift your
real?
hand like this.
You can't say this is a World War II game.
Is that
and
why they cut your pinky off?
Well, no, 'cause it's so that you didn't have to do that. You could just have the blade come out, and then you wouldn't have to lift your hand. Whereas in all the other Assassin's Creeds coming after that, they lift their hand up and then push.
It's like a high.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, it's for two reasons. One, it's the ring finger, and they cut it off both so that the blade can slide through, and also it's a commitment to the creed, saying that you will never
Creed.
get married or have children or anything like that. It's like you're fully committed to this lifestyle.
I don't feel
Um,
relatable to that at all. Like it doesn't seem realistic for me to cut my finger off.
You have to
prove
commit
myself.
to celibacy.
No, not celibacy. but
Um,
like,
It's not
never
realistic
just
to
cut
cut
it
off a
down.
finger,
Never
but
gonna
it's
have that
realistic for. All right, no, never mind. It's fine. It's
Hang on. Do you guys remember when we were all in grade 10 and there was that big trend going around our school where people were getting assassinated? The Creed. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
Not to brag or anything, guys, but I was actually on the secret inner circle of the Creed. We had a Facebook group where it was like the image was just like that of a bunch of people with their hoods up doing this. And basically what we would do is we would walk around our high school, and if you didn't have your hood up and like did something like this as you're walking around, someone would come up behind you and like put their hand over your mouth or something, and then just like basically like pretend to assassinate you.
So Matt,
I remember I got
tell me
judo
about
thrown by a kid
Tell
in
me about
science class.
the Creed.
That's it. I've shared all the
Tell me-
information I
tell me-
have.
Tell me so.
I
Tell me
heard, I
so.
heard the people in that creed also had to be celibate.
it didn't have to be, but it just kind of happened, you know.
You get
Themselves.
bonus points. So, Matt, was this like pre or post bullying, Matt? Like,
Well, I bullied Erik in the first like 2 or 3 weeks of the 9th grade. So pretty much anything that happened in high school is post bullying.
Post traumatic.
Yeah. Although I think I remember Erik was part of the Creed, right? Because I don't remember ever assassinating him.
Maybe he was just too good.
I don't know if I was part of this inner circle, but I
Yeah,
You know.
No, it's just because we like we like started doing it to people, and then it just became like a trend among the schools. So we made like this Facebook group and called ourselves the Creed. It was funny.
in the
It was
chat,
good.
Drew
It was
said,
good.
Matt was that kid in high school, huh?
But we loved
Mhm.
them. We loved them all the same.
Uh,
We were all weird. Everyone's weird in high school. Come on.
No.
Peter, you were weird.
Peter's weird now, not in high school.
Peter,
Am I still in
No,
high
you know that
school?
whole thing.
You look like it.
ooh.
That's not fair.
I think it's hilarious.
Also, just now that I think about it, they fixed the Assassin's Creed cutting off your finger thing by Leonardo da Vinci in Assassin's Creed 2.
Did he paint?
No, he just re-engineered the system, the device.
I shall
wasn't-
paint his finger back on.
Da Vinci had the other devices. He wasn't just a painter.
Okay,
Da
you
Vinci
don't-
and Ezio were sick. They were like,
There's
yo,
only
bro.
2 games where they had to cut off the ring finger, I guess. It would be like
Yep.
the first Assassin's Creed and then the Altair's Chronicles or whatever
Well, no,
it is on the DS.
Because technically Odyssey would also be that, because Odyssey takes place before the Renaissance, right? Before Ezio's trilogy.
Well, a lot
Did
of
they
them, like
have
Origins did too. They don't.
Where
in
was
those-
Origins?
the very
Origins
first
was
one.
ancient Egypt. That was like the beginning of the Creed.
Then where was Odyssey?
The origin
Odyssey was
of the
after.
Creed, I mean.
Ancient Greece came after ancient Egypt.
Oh,
Ancient
Odyssey was
the original.
Greece. Oh.
What did you think?
I thought
of
Odyssey.
I
The
thought
Odyssey.
Odyssey. I don't know. I thought Odyssey was Egypt, and then Origins. I had no freaking clue where it was. I don't know.
Had
Like,
whole
you know, not like the
Assassin's
cover
Creed
art is
talk.
them. It's not like the cover art is them standing in front of a fucking pyramid or anything.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was just thinking of 2 words, Matthew.
I was
wasn't
just thinking the
thinking of the
Odyssey
cover
is like
art.
the Greek Odyssey. is-
Well, yeah, I didn't think of that.
I think it's
Um,
Angry Joe that said it, but the only other like time period that I would have wanted in setting is like Samurai Japan. I think that would have been really cool.
Oh yeah.
They still could do it because that's not it's you still have
I mean,
happen.
they could,
Yeah.
but they also kind of shoot a little bit of their load on the stupid 2D side scroller Assassin's Creed in China.
Oh
No.
yeah.
No, and that's China. Like, well, that's completely different.
It is.
Like, if
yeah.
they want to revisit those settings, they're going to without question. Nobody played fucking Assassin's Creed Chronicles anyways, except me, and I hated every second of it.
Was that the DS
I
game?
played it for a little bit. No, it was,
No, they're on they Xbox put them on gold a lot for a while, and I'm pretty sure they're on Game Pass too. They're just little side scroller games, and they're just kind of lame.
I have all
They're just
three.
not really all that.
And I don't
Yeah,
plan
so
to
do
play
I.
them.
The
Yeah,
DS
so do
game
I.
was surprisingly fun, from what I remember.
What was the DS game?
It was like a top-down adventure game, and I remember it was like actually a lot of fun for what it was. I don't really remember it as well as I should though.
Mm-hmm. Like a proto Grand Theft Auto type game, basically. Proto,
No,
I
it
mean,
was
original
still
Grand
very
Theft Auto
linear.
was top down. Oh,
It was
okay.
still very linear.
Mm-hmm.
It's a DS
Gotcha.
game.
Yeah.
So there's a game that I've been playing a lot recently. I started it a long time ago and then just kind of dropped it before I made any progress. But now I'm back into it and I'm really, really loving it. Is Devil May Cry 5.
That's not
It's
a new
on
title.
Game Pass.
Sorry, I know
Go
you.
on,
I know
Matt.
you have trouble playing games on your Xbox, so I'm proud of you, and I'm excited to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, and
Devil
that's
May
maybe
Cry
what
1
you
and
should have
2 are
led
on the
with.
Switch.
Yeah, like they're gradually porting them to the Switch, but like the only Devil May Cry game I've played before 5 was DMC, which is like, isn't it like a reboot, Eric?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
It-
people
it-
generally don't like it, even though the
Yeah.
gameplay's tight.
Yeah, and so they're really cool games. So who of you guys have not played the Devil May Cry games?
me.
I've played like
Um,
half an hour here and there of different ones.
I'm gonna need Eric to back me up in case I have my history wrong, but basically, like DMC is like a reboot of like Dante's story, and Dante's the main character, and then Devil May Cry 5 is a character called Nero, and then Dante, and then another character called V, and you switch between them as the gameplay goes, and the gameplay structure is basically like you walk through these maps that have like really light platforming, and then like continuously throughout the level your path will be blocked and you'll have to fight these demons, and then the main gameplay is kind of this I don't know for sure how to describe it. It's I would compare it to a fighting game in the sense that like you got a ton of different combat options and things that you can do, and you get like rated on your combos as you're fighting bad guys. So if you're just spamming Y and slashing them with your sword, you're going to get a D, but if you mix up like slashing with your sword, shooting them with your gun to extend your combo, you can grapple them to bring them towards you and stuff like that, then you get better ratings. And the combat and just like the gameplay of like the fights in particular is just so freaking good, man. I picked it up because I've always been kind of interested in Devil May Cry, but I'm blown away by how sick Devil May Cry 5 is. I'm really loving the game.
Matt, I'm
Is it
And
like
so-
Batman
Yeah,
fighting?
hit me.
do you remember when
hit
we
me.
recorded the demo for Devil May Cry 5? And how not into that you were?
Oh yeah, we did do that, didn't we? Yeah.
So I'm
Well, it
surprised
was
hearing you're enjoying it so much after that experience.
well because I remember playing the I remember that I played the demo, but I totally forgot that I recorded that we did that together. Like I don't really know what it was because the level that you played in the demo was like mission 3 or 4 in the game, and like for one thing, when you start the game from scratch, there's a lot more to be interested in, and like it is like it's no like Street Fighter 5 or anything. It's not like a difficult game to learn the mechanics, but I guess it's like easy to learn, hard to master, because you're making use of every button on the controller. There's some mechanics that kind of just fall to the wayside, and then also I said there's 3 playable characters. Where I am in the game, I haven't unlocked Dante yet, but
Who's the best
like
character in the game?
Nero. Is he?
Yeah,
Have you played it through?
I
I mean,
I
the whole
haven't-
game
it
was
makes
about
sense.
Dante.
I haven't
it's
played
Dante.
it, but I've heard just on like reviews and stuff that like Dante is a freaking unit in that game. Like, oh,
Yeah. Well, that's what's cool about
And
it
it's
is
Dante.
it
I mean, come on.
yeah, and it's cool because Dante is like the main character of the franchise, but in five, like because five probably attracted a lot of new players like myself, like they have this kind of secondary main character Nero, and so they can kind of set Dante up as like a legend. Like the game opens with you going to fight this like massive threat, and Dante's already fighting it, so V and Nero are like, oh, he's got it, let's get out of here, and then Dante gets defeated. And where I'm at in the game right now, I don't know 100% where he is or if he's even alive. I just have to assume he is. But
No, he's
like
dead.
between, of course,
Ghost
between
mode.
Nero and V, like the kind of structure of the game is the same, but they have different properties to their gameplay. So a lot of the times in missions, you only get to do one or the other, but sometimes you get to choose. And I almost always choose V because while Nero like is all about kind of direct conflict, he's got like a sword, he's got a gun, he's got this robot arm that you can put different attachments to and do all these combo moves. But V basically summons demons to fight for him. So he's too weak to fight himself. All he can do is finish off enemies. So you get 3 demons to command and you send them off to fight for you, and then when they're about to die, when the demon's about to be defeated, you have to do the finishing blow. So it's like a really, really cool way. Like it's the same but different, that's what I respect so much about it. Like it changes the way that you approach playing in a really cool way. And there's even a boss fight, and I'm sure there's gonna be more as time goes on. There's some fights where you pick one character, but then the other character is doing the fight with you, basically.
I'm sorry, Matt. Evan, why do you look so satisfied? I need to know. It's really bothering me. It's really bothering me.
I just went to go refill my coffee,
Well,
but I turned my camera off so no one would know that I left.
It was
Now
obvious.
but now you know.
What do you think we thought?
I was gonna go with either he went to go get more coffee or Courtney came in and he had to have a conversation with her.
Matt, before Peter rudely interrupted you, continue.
Yes, please.
Well, you were interrupting me because I saw that you were like gritting to yourself, and I'm like, oh no, what did I say? The last thing I'll say on the matter, because I'm sure Eric has more to say on Devil May Cry because he's played more of the games. One thing that really blew me, and it's like only a small detail, but when I discovered it, it really like elevated the experience, is basically because there's multiple playable characters. Where I'm at in the game right now, like the characters take different paths, like different approaches to killing the enemy, and so you like in the game, the character that you pick is doing the mission simultaneous to the other character, and basically what it does is it connects you to the internet and it connects you to another player that's playing the other character at the same time, and it matches you up so you play through the level together. And there's a bunch of points where like you finish a fight and you can hear fighting elsewhere, and if you go to investigate, you can watch the other person fight, and then at the end of the level you can rate if they did well.
That's pretty cool.
It
It's
is
like a
like
review
Say
system.
they did shit.
like it literally says like, oh, you can just say that they're stylish or not, and there's really no reason not to say they're stylish. Unfortunately for me, I don't think it works as it's supposed to because of my internet problems, but like you still do get to like, there are points where like you finish a fight, you look somewhere and you can see the other character doing a fight of their own, which is pretty sick. So I'm really liking it. I cannot stop playing it. I wanted to get an early night so I could be, awake and lively for the podcast today, but I was up until like 2 playing because I just couldn't get enough.
See, I
Yeah, I figured as much when I saw the 9 hours ago tweet from at like 9:30. I was like, Matthew.
So
It's just a good game, man.
Beat this game, Matt?
Yeah, well, I don't have like, I know you guys talk a lot about like how many games you've beaten this year. I don't think I've actually beaten a game this year, and I
You
definitely
beat
want
Sword
to
and
see.
Shield.
That was
Oh wait,
last
you
year.
beat that before the year.
Yeah, like I just like
The reason I'm asking,
I play a lot of the same games, and
Here, Grayden
Like,
say something. Grayden's saying something.
No, it's all good. Matt can go.
sorry, Grayden, you're a robot.
You're a robot. Fuck you.
Alright, continue.
Robot War.
Yes, I'm definitely gonna beat Devil May Cry 5. I'm absolutely hooked on it at this point. I'm sure. I don't know how long the campaign is. I'm on like mission 8, but I haven't even unlocked the 3rd character yet. So, I'm really, really enjoying it. I'm gonna see it to the end for sure.
I tried playing it a bit, but I couldn't get. I played maybe an hour, maybe 2, and I was like, combat's boring me.
Yeah.
Same thing over and over again.
Yeah, and I don't really know why it's not the case because I never finished DMC partially for the same reason. I unlocked Devil Trigger and like adding a new mechanic that late into the game and me trying to like incorporate it. Eventually, I was kind of just like, eh. But there's just something about the way that Devil May Cry 5 is progressing for me that makes me just love it. And like, I actually find the combat really enjoyable. I mean, it might be because of my more fighting game history. Like, I like the idea that it's like a challenge to actually execute like complicated combos. And there's also a cool system where like you get red orbs over the course of the game and they act as a currency and you can use them for any of your characters to unlock new skills. So, and there's a lot of games that use that type of mechanic, but it's cool because it means that you can like figure out the character, understand it, but then over time unlock more abilities and like unlock more ways to extend your combos, more ways to kind of like for example, Nero gets a skill that allows him to like cover ground. So like originally I was having it where like I was shooting them with my gun, but I needed to get close so I could start hitting them with my sword and stuff, and I didn't have a good way to do it other than grappling them and bringing them to me. But then you unlock this skill, and the skill allows you to just like shoot over there and start slashing them. Peter, why are you holding up the gun? It's not even been 5 minutes.
No. That's not what I'm saying.
I'm gonna come to your house and
you're talking about shooting people, and I was like, yeah, shooting people. That's it. I'm not telling you to shut up. No,
you use that gun as a symbol of threat.
I didn't
you
think
psychologically harmed Matt, so now every time you bring it up, it's like he's like, ah.
I was gonna be like.
I know Erik has a lot more history with Devil May Cry than I do, so I kind of want him to fill in what I'm saying a little bit. Erik, have you played Devil May Cry 5, Erik?
He's played them all.
I haven't played Devil May Cry 4 or 5 yet, so I don't know the story on it, but I mean, I do plan on playing through it at some point.
You should definitely play 5, man. Like knowing that you like games like Darksiders and stuff, I think you'll get a huge kick out of 5. It's really, really good. Last thing I'll say on it though, which is also kind of funny, is I remember I don't love like the kind of rhetoric that like I only play like a couple games and don't try new games and don't finish games, which is true to an extent. So I remember when I started Devil May Cry 5 a long time ago, and I remember Erik was like, "Oh, dude, I noticed you were playing Devil May Cry 5," and I was like, "Hee hee yay!" But there's a function in Devil May Cry 5 where on the main menu you can watch like a video that shows you like the entire history of the story, or like the Devil May Cry franchise so far. So I was gonna tell you that you should watch that because it is really like informative going into it, but it's also funny because when I first started up the game months ago, I literally watched that video and then it was late, so I was like, all right, I'll go to bed and started the game another time, and then I didn't start it again for like months. So all of my Devil May Cry 5 gameplay until like a couple days ago was just watching a video about the history and then going back to Smash Brothers. That reminds me, actually, okay, one more thing is the last thing I'll say on it. I would be 150% down with literally any of the Devil May Cry 5 characters being Smash characters. Like, I know Dante is one that's requested like a ton.
Man, you turned into a robot again.
No. Dude,
you started speaking too fast. You got too excited.
He got too excited. His internet didn't know how to handle it.
It's happening. Slow down.
My ping goes to like, it's 695 seconds now.
I don't know what you said, but I know it was a bad number.
Yeah,
I heard 600 and something.
Moving on to someone who can actually talk. Erik?
Well,
Quick, Erik, speak!
Erik, you must speak.
Talk about Devil May Cry.
No. First thing on your mind, go.
It exists. There is one cutscene from Devil May Cry 3 that's super tight. I would say you should look it up. It's Dante like running. He gets betrayed by his brother and shit, and that's not really a spoiler. That's kind of like the big rivalry is Dante versus Virgil, and he like gets his awakening, and he's at the top of this tower, and he starts running down the side of the tower with all these demons flying around him. He just starts like shooting at them and slicing them with a sword, throws his sword, and just like pierces through a bunch of it's a sick cutscene. You just have to see it. For like a very old like 2003 cutscene, you know, it looks old, but it's still badass. Like you see it and you're like, oh!
Kind of following the trail of animation and badassery. You guys have all watched Castlevania, right?
Just the first season.
Yeah.
I never
It's
watched
on the
the
list.
Yeah. I'm just on finished season 1 so far.
Well, it's awesome. I love it. It's one of my new favorite Netflix series. And I was just reading that season 4 is kind of greenlit and it's on the go,
Hell
Mhm.
yeah.
I'm
which is
excited.
awesome. And
I do want to
read
watch
just
more.
Yeah, it's good.
I'm
I kind of skimmed over the article and I was laughing because, like, obviously the creator gets a lot of like tweets and stuff. It's like, hey, we're season 4. Can season 4 come out? And like in the article, he commented, yeah, and if that one guy could stop tweeting me that he wants season 4 now, could fuck off, that'd be sweet.
I like that it's Richard Armitage is the main voice actor. I don't know if he still is. I assume so. Who's Thorin Oakenshield from the Hobbit movies.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, that's cool. I like that.
I learned
You can
something
really
today.
tell when you hear his voice sometimes. You're like, oh yeah, that's
It's like I didn't.
Thorin.
Is the guy who plays Cable in Deadpool 2? Is he voiced Thanos?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
he-
Josh
I was gonna
Brolin.
I was gonna say it sounded so like I was watching Deadpool 2 the other day, and again because I see it in theaters, but I didn't put 2 and 2 together. It's been a while since I heard Cable's voice, and I was just like, everything he said, all I could envision was Thanos. There, I was like,
Deadpool calls him Thanos at some point in the movie because, like,
Does he?
Infinity War had just come out, and then a couple months later, Deadpool 2 came out. Yeah, he literally, like, at some point, he's like, "All right, chill out, Thanos," or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
It's
Yeah.
kind of fun being able to recognize voice actors now. Like I was watching Star Wars: The Clone Wars, and there was one character he was talking, and after a bit, I was like, "That's fucking Seth Green," because there's a few voice lines where he sounded exactly like Joker from Mass Effect.
Oh yeah.
Seth Green just has that.
I like that.
Yeah.
Being able to
I always-
recognize voices.
I always love hearing what's his face's voice, the guy that played Arbiter, and
Oh.
he's in a lot of
Keith
movies.
David.
Keith David, yeah, I always love recognizing his voice.
Well, he is such a recognizable
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's also really satisfying when like really mainstream conventional actors get into voice acting in games. Like when you look at the voice cast for Grand Theft Auto San Andreas and find out that Samuel L. Jackson plays like a dirty cop in it, you're just like, yes.
Amen.
yeah, I'd like to see more of it. I'm surprised Ryan
think-
Reynolds hasn't done much voice acting for video games.
He would
He
be
seems
good
like
for it.
he'd be into it. Yeah, there's money to be had.
No, I mean,
Is-
the-
well-
I don't know if I was a video game company, I wouldn't want to hire a big name like that unless
That's
worth
that's
it.
why that's probably why Bethesda could only hire 5 voice actors because they got Sean Bean and then that Liam Neeson that one time.
they're like,
Yeah.
oh shit, we're out
They
of
got
money, boys.
Patrick Stewart. They got Sir Patrick Stewart for Oblivion.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
One A tier voice actor per game.
yeah,
They had their list.
5
They're like 10 C tier voice actors or 1 A tier voice actor. 1 A tier.
the A-tier actors, like, I knew they were going to try to get their money's worth, but they had me record over 30,000 lines.
Their last voice acting project.
Jeez. Yeah, I feel like
That-
he'd be super expensive to get as a voice actor.
I mean,
Like, that's
Family
just
Guy
a-
was
that's
able
a
to get him the
big
other
name.
day.
Yeah, but Family Guy is also huge. Like they've probably made enough
That's
money
very
to
different.
sink a ship.
One bit is a lot less expensive than 30,000 lines.
No, it was a whole episode around Ryan Reynolds.
Okay, 24 minutes.
Yeah, I don't know if it was actually him or just Seth MacFarlane throwing his voice, but it sounded pretty convincing. So
Well, either way, again, that's a bigger franchise than most game companies. I'd say.
you
It's been
think
around
Family
longer.
Guy is a bigger franchise than like Mass Effect or like freaking
I'd
Fallout?
say so.
Yes?
I'd say
Probably.
so. It's been around longer.
It
It's
appeals
got
to
a
a way
huge.
wider audience.
Yeah. I can almost guarantee that. Like that's.
Yeah, but it's a TV show. You don't have to pay for it technically.
Yeah, but
How
they
many
get
times
paid,
in your
they
life
get paid
have
based
you heard
on-
someone say, "Hey, remember that Family Guy bit where blah 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 happens?" And you're supposed to laugh, even though you're like, "Yeah, okay."
Yeah, but how many N7 shirts have you seen in your life? Because I've seen a shit ton of them.
I haven't
More
seen
than
a lot of.
any.
Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of N7 shirts.
What is this?
I have.
2012?
I actually didn't even know they made N7 shirts.
It was
They
only
did, and I
for-
see
What
them
What do you
everywhere.
mean
They're
you
like
didn't know they
jackets.
made N7 shirts? What do you mean, Jarrod?
They're jackets.
I knew they had the jacket, but I didn't know they had a T-shirt or anything.
They don't have shirts.
T-shirt.
It's only jackets.
Because I know if you got like the collector's edition of Mass Effect 3 or whatever it was, you got the N7 jacket.
I
It's a
wish I had
shitty
that
looking
jacket.
shirt. I don't want that shirt.
Well, it's
Also,
a brand. It's like how people wear Champion now. Where
Yeah, but you
when
gotta-
we
you
were
gotta look
younger, Champion was a pair of socks that looked like shit. Nowadays, people have that horrible ass C on their shirt, like, and the shirt's worth like $10,000. It's like, what the heck?
What the hell are you talking about?
I'm just saying on the fact that it's like you have a TV franchise that gets paid by whoever airs it, and then they also get like they've been around way longer than most gaming franchises have. So it's like I just think that they have a lot more money to play with. Not to mention they're just well known. Like yes, in the gaming industry you have people that really know Mass Effect or really know these things, but again, that's a niche group.
I mean, there's an easy way
Shut
to
up, Peter.
determine this.
What?
We could just look up the amount of money each franchise has made. I guarantee you Bethesda's made more money off their IPs than
Oh.
Family Guy has.
Whoa, we're just talking Mass Effect, not all their IP. Slow down there, cowboy.
Okay, Mass Effect. Just Mass Effect
It's
then.
just- there's no way. There is
Yeah, I'll look
no
up Family Guy
way.
right
Okay, I'll look up Mass Effect, and then we'll count to 3, and then
Seth
we'll reveal our
MacFarlane's
numbers.
2 billion.
Whoa, count to
Family Guy
3!
Why
Count
do we have
to
to count to 3?
Because I haven't looked it up yet. Jesus
So
Sorry,
you're
that was
wrong.
in 2008.
Christ!
Yeah,
That was 2008.
I don't see what counting to 3 has to do with you looking it up. though.
1, 2, 3.
Okay,
All right,
hold
you're
the
allowed now,
frick
Evan.
on.
I did what you asked.
You said count to 3.
Well, I get to
There's
choose
no
when we count to
pleasing.
3.
There's
I get
no
to choose.
pleasing you, Evan.
I get to
So
choose.
angry. You're so angry.
Anyway,
I
You
think
need to be
you're-
medicated.
while they Google this, did you guys hear about the Summer Game Fest? How that was announced, that whole thing?
Oh yeah, I heard
Yeah.
about that.
It's like essentially the
hyped.
replacement for E3, but it's going from May till August.
Interesting.
I'm very curious to see what it will look like.
Whatever Jeff Keighley's a part of, I've generally been a fan of. So
Ooh, Drew
Didn't
has some
the-
info about money in the chat. He says all of Bethesda is 2.5 billion, while Family Guy is 2 billion. So put that into perspective, Evan. All of Bethesda versus one IP from BioWare. Mm-mm.
Yeah, Family Guy nets 2 million, about around 2 million per episode of Family Guy.
Oh, you can
Jesus
purchase a
Christ.
Mass Effect game for that much.
No wonder they still
Effect
drag
3
Seth
for 2
MacFarlane
million,
into the
please.
studio to record. Like, Seth, we gotta make our 2 million. He's like, all right, I guess I'll just talk to myself for the next 2 hours.
He's used to it.
Yeah. Have you seen? He actually has. I don't know if it's just the one, but Seth MacFarlane's appearance on the Graham Norton show. He does the Taken monologue in Kermit the Frog's voice,
Nice.
and it's.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, I think in that same interview, he also has a conversation between Stewie and Peter, like just sitting there, and it's really funny. He is a really
very
talented voice actor.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
super talented. It's insane some of the voices they come up with in that show.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he's so milked dry by this point, though. Like I feel like he's
With Family Guy,
extracted
yeah.
every all this creativity out, and that's it. He's like, calm down.
Yeah, I think, well, he doesn't even rate the show anymore. He just goes in and records it.
Oh, I
Yeah.
I feel like
I'm-
if someone else again was writing it for him, I think he could still show his talent that way. I think out of pure
Uh-huh.
creativity, like you exhaust yourself by constantly coming up with all this shit. So I feel like for him to come up with new stuff for himself might be a little challenging.
Yeah.
But for other people to
They
come up
also-
for him, it'd be pretty good.
They also play off of modern times and what's happening in the world, so it's not entirely, create something out of nothing.
I
It's
mean-
like, here's something stupid that the president said, and then they make an episode about it.
Yeah.
Look at that. The movie
Yeah.
he made, the Wild West movie, whatever that was.
Million Ways to Die and the rest. Yeah, that one wasn't too good.
Nah.
Yeah.
Not good.
I thought it had
So,
some funny
I-
bits.
I
Wasn't
just
great.
googled how is Seth Rogen doing these days,
Seth
and or Seth MacFarlane, sorry.
Oh,
And yeah, no, sorry.
Seth
It
Rogen's doing
looks
okay.
like so it looks like he's actually leaning really into like the live action stuff he's been doing because he has that
Robot
show The Orville, and I think that's kind of his main baby right now, probably because he's a bit more invested in that than he is for like Family Guy stuff.
what do you think viewers?
Seth MacFarlane is worth a net worth of $200 million. What do you think it feels like to look up something and be like, I'm worth $200 million?
What happens if you
nice.
Google how much Live Connection is worth?
Net worth of Live Connection. 1 second, I'll get you those numbers.
3 cents.
I imagine
Oh,
looking
yes.
up. I imagine looking up things on the internet is just like looking up things and realizing how much wrong information about you there is out there. Like it's like I'm gonna butcher his name, but Takiti. Oh my god, Eric, help me out here.
Taika Waititi.
Yeah, Taika Waititi, where he like some newslet will just like tweet like, oh, Thor Love and Thunder delayed 2 months, blah blah blah, and then he's just like, what the hell? I didn't hear about this.
Hey, so Seth MacFarlane is worth double what Ryan Reynolds is worth. Net profit.
Well, it makes sense. Ryan Reynolds is only just starting to get into like the
You hear that,
producer
Ryan
side.
Reynolds?
Get wrecked.
No. I'm just thinking because it's like you have huge titles with like Deadpool and stuff like
Well, yeah, but they only pay Ryan Reynolds in Canadian. That's why.
He has
Yeah.
a gin company.
Yeah,
It's like,
aviation.
And Mint Mobile.
It's like when it's the I forget which Austin Powers it is, but I think it's number 2 where Dr. Evil comes out of freezing and he's like I want $1 million, and the whole like group starts laughing at him and he's like what? He's like, it's not a lot of money anymore.
I remember that.
Oh man.
So I made an announcement on Twitter a couple days ago about something that I was going to want to do. It was attempt 2 at watching an entire series within the course of a 30-day trial, so I don't have to pay for a subscription service. The first time I tried to do it, which was Dragon Ball Super with Crunchyroll, and that's 130 episodes. Yeah, I had my Crunchyroll subscription for like 6 months, so no.
Okay.
But this time, what I want to try doing is Rick and Morty. But I found out like not long after, kind of saying that I was going to do that. And this whole setup is nonsensical. So you can only watch seasons 3 and 4. They're on Amazon Prime Video, but they're not. They're on this like secondary streaming service that's through Prime Video.
Yeah,
which
like
is
Fire
fucking
TV or
nonsensical.
some shit. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
no,
why
it's Stack
Amazon
TV.
sucks.
Can't
Stack
I just go
TV.
right to Adult Swim? Like watch episodes?
I don't know. Let's find out.
'Cause they're the ones who make it,
'cause- yeah, Rick and
How could you say that?
Morty.
I mean, like, if I want something, I go to the people who make it to get it.
Really?
I
Yeah,
always find Adult Swim's like, this isn't available in your region.
So
Yeah.
Peter, you go right to Quaker if you want to get some porridge. You go right to the factory.
You
don't go to the
Shut
grocery
up,
store?
Evan.
But they really don't.
Shut up. Just shut up.
Yeah, Peter. Do you, the celiac, go to Quaker for your oats directly?
Do oats have gluten in them?
Yes.
They are gluten. Like, and
I don't know. I don't need to watch for gluten.
Technically, they aren't gluten. They
Yeah,
have
I'm
the
with
gluten
Okay, Jared,
protein
I'm
in
gonna
them,
mute you.
Peter.
I'm gonna
They have
mute
the
you.
gluten protein.
That's it, Jared. You
Know your own.
insulted me.
Know your own disease.
You insulted my intelligence.
Know your
Wait.
own sickness.
The poster's backwards. I thought you guys could read it.
Oh, it is backwards, Peter.
How come I can read it?
I don't know.
It's not
Peter somehow has it opposite
No,
on the stream.
Discord, for whatever reason, it mirrors things. Like, like for example, my mug here. Yeah,
No, you're
like
I,
maps
I
can
read it.
I can't read
I can
mine,
read yours
though.
too. I can read yours, Peter. I can't read mine.
Yeah, how can we read Peter's thing if we can't read our own thing?
It's something weird with Discord. It's not my
Oh, we are-
fault. I
we're
didn't have this.
broken.
Am I in a simulation right now?
Okay, I didn't have the sign
Help
up
me!
originally.
I'm in a box!
Get me out!
Grayden and I don't even have faces.
No, Fruity,
Yeah,
I looked and I googled it. Discord doesn't let you mirror. It like the way it is, it's set. I couldn't change it. I
Tell it
tried.
not to be.
Well, Peter, yes, I don't know what. I told you your sign was shit.
What does this say?
Fuck you, Peter.
It says subscribe, and then below it's all our subscribers.
You know, Peter,
I
what
saw
you
that.
should do?
That's
What
a
you
nice
should
touch.
do? Thank you, babe. Look, guys, breakfast again. Look at that.
Oh.
Mm.
Oh, thank you, babe. Thank you so much for this cold piece of toast. Mm.
Ugh.
With
Ugh.
kubasa. Mm.
Okay.
Oh.
When
I
we
was looking at your subscribe thing the other day. Did you get like a 4-year-old to write it, or?
No, okay. I never claimed to be good. I never claimed to be good. Okay.
I
knew
said
I
to
was.
him he should have used. I said to him he should have used pencil.
I knew I was
first.
not the right person to do it, but there was no one else to do it. Matt, that's a
Fair.
nice forehead you got.
I'm sorry. I'm trying
He's
to
telling
read the
you?
sign.
Fruity's telling you that it's all in your camera settings, but
See,
to me,
to you,
wait a second.
finish.
To you.
the
I
sentence.
don't know, man. This is all confusing because
When
the
we-
stream has all of us backwards, except for some reason the stream has me mirrored,
Just write it in.
but not Jared. But it doesn't have Matt, and it doesn't have Matt mirrored. But it has
Mine-
you and me mirrored.
Mine's mirrored on my screen. So maybe it's because it's mirrored on my screen, it's not mirrored on the stream. So if it's not mirrored on
Oh.
Matt, we can't hear you.
Matt, you're robotic Matt again.
So
Matt.
like when we normally stream, it's fine. You'll be able to read it when we do it on via OBS. But for the podcast, it's
Yeah, it's something with Discord, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. But I'm not writing it inverted, okay, guys?
Yeah, you should
Stop
write it
suggesting
backwards.
that.
You know, Peter, here's a solution for you. You could take a picture of said poster board, upload it to Photoshop, cut it out, and then add it as an element
Background?
within Discord.
So then,
That could be a solution.
when people subscribe, how do I write their name?
I don't know, but whatever solution you have behind you is not a solution. That's all I can say.
I
You
wouldn't have
need
had
just,
it up. I
like,
thought
a
it would because
giant
Jared said he could
golden
read things.
Well, why don't you have like a little Photoshop thing and put it as an source in your thing that says subscribe and has the different subscribers on it.
Because the meme is that when people subscribe, I write their name live, and they get to
Well,
influence
the meme
how
is
I
the
write
meme
it.
is that it's backwards right
No,
now. So that's
Peter's-
the meme.
Peter's excuse for shitty craftsmanship is, it's just a meme.
No, normally you can read the sign. It's just Discord is screwing me. That's all that's happening.
Hold on.
That sounds
So,
like an
so
excuse.
you guys can all read this then,
Yeah,
right?
I can read that.
Yeah.
It's only our own.
Fruity said in the chat, imagine subbing and having your name written backwards.
We
I
appreciate
don't know.
all
Why don't you
subs.
do it and find out?
But yeah,
You're
no, Matt, we can
so
see
talented.
yours. We can see yours fine, but just not Peter's or mine fine. Mine's backwards.
That
See?
is so mysterious.
See, yours is
Like,
yours is forward for me.
Yeah, I can read
yeah,
yours, I think.
everyone else can. That is so nonsensical.
Oh, so I'm the one that's right.
No,
I'm the one
everyone,
that's right.
everyone gets their own cameras mirrored. I can't read this. You can't read yours. Nobody can read Peter's.
Oh, so
Because
that's
why
why
can't you read
Peter's
mine?
is screwed. Because
I can read yours.
Yours is reverse because you're the one streaming.
Oh.
Where Matt's right. Matt is right.
Yeah.
Matt's right.
You're looking at my perspective. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, we
Big
did
brain.
it.
We did it, boys.
That doesn't make any sense. Why would it be like that? Like that, I just struggle to understand that so much.
Okay.
And we struggled
Which
to
is
wonder
crazy.
why Peter didn't use pencil before he used marker, but
Hey, I just did it on a whim. I thought it'd be a nice idea, and I'm getting shit on for it.
It's a nice idea. Unfortunately, only the 5 of us can appreciate it, and not the however many viewers we have on the internet where we're trying to broadcast this thing to. Looks like you just have to write that sign backwards next time.
This was Peter. This was Peter writing that sign. This was Peter writing that sign.
You know, he's actually not that far off. I wrote
Peter,
it
you
like
forgot to-
positioned
Good.
like this. It wasn't on the ground.
Subscribe
Peter,
to Live
Peter,
Connection.
you forgot to glue your macaroni pieces onto it and around the border.
Okay, it's not a finished project yet, Jarrod. One piece of
Yeah, where's the
macaroni
glitter?
per subscriber.
Maybe some
Where's the glitter?
I think so. Next time, Peter, I want to see that exact sign, but written while looking in a mirror, so that the viewers can see it and none of us can.
Okay, you know what? I have a challenge, boys. I have a challenge. Are you ready? I want you to make
Okay.
your own signs, and next podcast we'll do a sign competition. Whose sign is the best sign?
I actually just realized I think I'm going to be really unwell next week, so I probably won't be able to make it.
Mm.
It's not going to work for my schedule.
See, all these
Yeah.
big words. We are tough life connection guys. We can shit
I
on
just
Peter
know
and
the
he's
idea is
drawing.
fucking stupid, so I'm not gonna do it.
You just call
Peter, I don't have the
subscribers
budget.
stupid?
I don't have the
No,
budget
don't
for
you.
something like that.
Yeah,
Did I say?
I don't even know where I can
Subscribers
find
are
cardboard.
stupid, Peter. Don't put words in my mouth.
I just did.
I mean, you're making
Don't
subscribers feel stupid
put
because they
words
read their
in my
names
mouth.
backwards.
Okay. It's
Well,
a
you don't- you
podcast
don't
only
respect
problem.
Peter in
I'm
a small
punch
degree
Peter.
that he just has these ideas and he goes with it. Just like shaving his head, he had the idea and he just went with it.
That's very. That's weirdly accurate. That hits way too close to home.
Wow, it's almost as if like he knew the circumstances around you shaving your head.
I'm
What?
muting Evan. Okay, we're about at that time to end, boys.
Are we about at that time, or are we at that time?
We're actively
We're
at
at-
that time.
Okay, bye.
Actively.
Okay,
That's
bye.
it.
Bye.
He's gone. That's it. All right. We stream Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday. 5 days a week. If you want even
Sometimes
more,
Wednesday.
if you want even more live connection, we have a YouTube channel where we post videos. We got a Discord.
No, we
There's
don't.
plenty of ways to get in contact with us. Thanks for hanging
False.
out with us on the podcast. That's always appreciated, seeing you guys in the chat. And we hope to see you next
Don't
time.
believe Peter.
How
He's a
many
liar.
interruptions was that, boys? What in the world? Can
So
I
many,
not?
we
so
off?
many interruptions.
No, we're
we have
not
to table it from meeting.
Guys, I
Are you
need help.
stuck in a box?
I'm trapped in the box. I can't get out.